Senator John Thune is with me now. Sir, how you doing? And good day to you.
Good morning, Bill.
You need 60 votes. Tell me why a moderate Democrat up for re-election in November, perhaps in a state where this is not so popular, why would they vote for it?
Well, there are a lot of reasons, I think, Bill. First off, if you're a moderate Democrat, or anybody for that matter, you want to solve the problem. And I think what the president has put a good faith effort out there, and obviously it addresses the issue of providing legalization for all the DACA young people, at the same time strengthens border security and tries to prevent this problem from occurring in the future, and looking at issues like chain migration and in the visa lottery. Those are all things I think that, if we're going to solve this problem in the long term, have to be on the table. Whether or not there are the votes, the 60 votes necessary in the Senate to get that done, remain to be seen. But I do think that the president has really led on this and has given the Senate a lot to chew on this week, and we'll see where the amendment process takes us.
I'm just curious, what of substance, what of significant legislation can pass in this Senate with 60 votes?
Well, I think that's really a good question, because the other issue the president advanced yesterday, of course, was infrastructure, and that too will take Democrat votes. We'll have to get 60 for that, and it'll have to be paid for as well. And so, trying to figure out the sweet spot, how do you attract the requisite number of Democrats to get 60 votes for anything these days, will be challenging. But on immigration, if people are really interested in finding a long-term solution to the problem, then there ought to be a coming together between Republicans and Democrats. At the end of the week, when we're done debating this, we'll see what's left standing and whether or not there is a chance that we could send something to the House. But you also have to get past the House, and it has to be something the president eventually will sign into law. And those are all considerations we have to look at as we start the debate here today.
Tom Cotton, your colleague from Arkansas, said this is it. This is the first and final offer. Is it?
I think, well, I don't know about that. I think there will be probably several versions of immigration legislation that will be voted on this week. But if you want to do something that is very forward-looking, that does take this issue and put it behind us for the foreseeable future, what the president has put forward is that kind of solution. And what the Cotton, Perdue, Cornyn legislation does is sort of mirrors the president's proposal. And so that will be interesting to see, obviously, how the vote on that goes. But I think there will be other proposals that will be considered as well.
Yeah, the deadline's 3 weeks from yesterday. I'm sure you're well aware of the calendar.
It is indeed.
Now, on infrastructure, you like this whole idea. You take public money, you take private money, and you rebuild America. How's that going to happen?
I think what the president has put forward, cutting red tape, reducing the project time down to about 2 years is really important. I mean, these projects drag on forever. It's impossible to get anything done in this country, and it's enormously expensive. So that in and of itself would be a huge reform. But then I think if you can look at broadband, and he's got a big priority on rural areas, which obviously I'm very much in favor of. We've got 54,000 deficient bridges in this country. We have people who spend 7 billion man-hours in traffic every single year. There are infrastructure needs in this country, and it gives the president and us an opportunity to build upon the economic record with tax reform and regulatory reform that is getting the economy moving back in a more positive direction. So we'll see where it all goes, Bill. But I think one of the things, too, that's going to be really important is that whatever gets done reduces red tape and makes these projects less bureaucratic, perhaps using existing programs and obviously figuring out how to pay for it. Those are all questions we'll have to answer in the weeks ahead.
Just one quick thing here. We're waiting for this hearing. We're going to take our viewers there probably 15 minutes or so when the questions get underway. What is this Russia matter doing to the work that you're trying to get done in the Senate? Is it having an effect or not?
Well, we're up here. It's really important that we be able to work on more than one thing at one time, and obviously we are doing that. We're multitasking here, but the Russia issue needs to be concluded. I mean, there's a certain point at which, okay, we've exhausted all the questions. You've had everybody in, everybody's testified, you've gotten the record built, and let's release the conclusions, let the American people decide, but let's bring this to a close. I think at some point it has to end.
Senator, thank you for your time. Come on back. Okay?
Thanks, Bill.
John
Always going to be with you.